Hi there, this is Frank. Back. I got cut off in the middle of production there. I was rambling on and didn't notice the time was running out. So, here we are again. It's time to ramble on some more. I hope you enjoyed the first part of that program, and I'll try to keep my eye on my time limit there. But we were talking about what you can do to prepare yourself for difficulties. Europe's not looking so good. You know, a lot of people over here that are into preparing for disasters and preparing for the downfall of our government or different things like that are constantly, well, their outlook is like the rug's going to get yanked out from under us. And I don't know that it's going to be a rapid thing like that. I just have my doubts. But what I do know is that right now, over 49% of the U.S. population is on some sort of government assistance. That's a huge number, and it's unsustainable. There's so many unsustainable things that are going on in the world. Monsanto and its minions and its competitors trying to engineer our food, for instance. That's not sustainable. They're making billions of dollars, maybe trillions of dollars, I don't know. As an industry, probably hundreds of billions, many hundreds of billions of dollars. And the government, it's like our government is obviously helping them, protecting them, but at the same time, elements in our government kind of are questioning the wisdom of changing things that much. Is it really science, or is it like mad scientists? What's wrong with being able to produce your own food, and make the choice to use these seeds instead of those seeds? You know, Monsanto actually prosecutes farmers. Let's say, for instance, a farmer was using Monsanto seeds for corn seeds, maize. Some people call it maize, maíz in Spanish, and it's a patented product of Monsanto. Okay, they're so slippery and so corrupt that they make the farmers sign contracts where the usage of Monsanto seeds is perpetual and goes with the property. So let's say, for instance, the farmer sells his farm to another farmer, and that farmer doesn't want to use genetically modified organisms or genetically modified seeds, but wants to use what we call heritage seeds. And let's say he imports a ton of purple Peruvian corn seeds from South America and plants those in his field. Monsanto's police force, we'll say, happens to come out to check on the new owner and asks him, "So where did you get these seeds?" And he says, "Well, it's really none of your business. Where I got my seeds, this is my land, not your land." and get off my land. And then the Monsanto guy calls the local sheriff or the local police department and comes back with them and says, well, we have to inspect your corn. And the farmer says, you're not going on my land. It's none of your business. Get out of here. Leave. And the guy says, well, we have a court order. We have a warrant to search your land. And they search it and they find that it's not Monsanto corn. God forbid. And so they confiscate the guy's land. And our stupid justice, and justice in quotation marks, justice system upholds Monsanto's right. And another family farmer gets, he probably will get fined millions of dollars and lose his farm. And then Monsanto ends up with the land, of course, right? Or let's say that a guy is farming his land. He's got heritage corn growing half a mile away or a mile away from a Monsanto corn grower. And Monsanto's Frankenstein freakazoid seed, or rather corn plants, pollen blows, which is pollen from corn or maize or maize, travels and connects with other corn plants by wind pollination. The wind blows the pollen off the tops, the flowers on the top, which falls on the silk from the corn ear down below, right? So that's how they get pollinated. Not mostly by bees or whatever. It's by the wind. So the wind blows Monsanto's bizarro pollen across the fields a mile away, and it lands and pollinates this organic, let's say it's an organic farmer's cornfield. Well, he doesn't have a clue, He just harvests his corn, he's going about getting his corn. Well, Monsanto guys go around and take samples of other farmers' corn, farmers that aren't using Monsanto seeds. And if they find that Monsanto's, if they find that the organic non-GMO farmer's corn contains Monsanto DNA, well, then they get to confiscate that entire crop. And the farmer whose cornfield was invaded by Monsanto pollen loses out. And he probably gets fined and loses his entire crop. Tell me that's not justice gone awry. It should be that Monsanto gets fined billions upon billions upon billions of dollars for infecting the real natural corn with their GMO crap. That's how it should happen. That's what should happen. That would be justice. But our twisted excuse for a justice system is doing exactly the opposite. And I said it on the other episode here, the first part of this. God is watching. And I read Proverbs almost every day. And one proverb, there's 31 proverbs in the Bible. And many places in Proverbs it talks about do not oppress your neighbor. Do not steal from your neighbor. Do not falsely accuse your neighbor. Do not persecute the poor. And that's what Monsanto is doing. So it would bring joy to my heart to see Monsanto fall and go out of business. And the other wretched excuses for companies that are like them, like Monsanto. There's nothing santo about Monsanto. They are evil, and it's an evil corporation. It really is. So my prayer is that God tears it down in the name of Jesus. Anyway, so we were also talking about what can you do to prepare. So food and water, first off. Food and water and shelter. Those are three necessities that we have as human beings. Food, water, and shelter. Some people say that you should prepare for 72 hours of food, water, and shelter in an emergency situation. 3 years ago, our power went out for 3 days here. Now, I lived in a tent for about 5 years. A good portion of that time I was living in a tent and cooked over an open fire. Lived in the mountains of the western United States, many different states. So for me to live in a tent, it got old after 4 years probably. I got tired of it. But I'm perfectly able to live like Paul said, the Apostle Paul said, I'm able to abase and abound in good times and bad times. I'm perfectly able to make myself comfortable living in a tent and eating plain food. I might crave something, but I still am able to do it. So 3 days without electricity, that means I can't get on my computer very much because the battery will wear out, right? I'm looking at the power meter on my MacBook here, and it says 78%. I replugged in. I don't have solar panels. I don't have a lot of things, but I really don't need all that stuff. A need and a want are two different things, and many of us are used to having anything we want, whether you're in Italy or Germany or Russia, the U.S., South America, Great Britain, wherever in Scandinavia, Africa. A certain portion of us live in first world situations. Even some of us that live in second or third world countries live in first world situations or are living first world lives. So we think we need certain things, but the reality is we just want certain things. And in the event of disasters or power outages or municipal breakdowns of one kind or another, we are inconvenienced, highly inconvenienced, and we don't like it. But it's going to happen. If it hasn't happened to you already, it's going to happen. At some point in your life, you're going to find that you're going to wake up one morning and there won't be any electricity, or there won't be any gas, or any gasoline, petrol,